A long-awaited report has found credible evidence that Australian special forces unlawfully killed 39 people during the Afghan conflict. The Australian Defence Force has released findings from a 4-year inquiry into the conduct of its special forces in Afghanistan between 2005 and 2016. The inquiry investigated 57 incidents. Australia has had troops in Afghanistan since 2002 as part of the US-led coalition fighting the Taliban militia. Roger Maynard with more.
This bombshell report has exposed a dark and brutal secret within Australia's elite special air services. Findings reveal how Afghan civilians and unarmed prisoners of war were brutally tortured and, in 39 cases, allegedly murdered in cold blood. Now, there is talk of some members of the SAS killing for sport and new patrol members being ordered to execute prisoners to achieve their first kill in a practice that became known as blooding. On those occasions, the atrocity would often be covered up by soldiers planting foreign weapons or radios on the bodies of the victims to give the impression they were enemies killed in action. We know that 19 of the accused will be referred to a special investigator who will determine whether there is sufficient evidence to go ahead with a prosecution, which means if they're convicted, they could end up in jail. But it seems that the top brass and senior officers are not implicated in this business. The view is that they had no knowledge of what was going on, and some members of the lower ranks had no knowledge of what they were up to at this particular time. Having said that, Australia's Defence Minister Linda Reynolds declared that accountability will be the cornerstone of the Defence Department's response to this report. And in fairness, the Prime Minister, Scott Morrison, has already prepared the nation for this bleak news. He is also appointing a new oversight panel to implement changes to the Army's cultural, organisational and leadership policies. And there'll also be a review into the Army's honours and award systems. Meanwhile, the Defence Chief, Angus Campbell, has issued a deep apology to the Afghan government for what happened, and efforts are underway to pay compensation to the families of victims. Whether those apologies and the financial compensation will restore the Army's image remains to be seen.